Hello, caviar connoisseurs, and welcome to week 28 of Sports Caviar, sponsored by Go Long Dickies Swimwear. And I'll be joined this week by only Bern Nazi. Mr. Bijon will not be joining. Bern, say hi to everybody.
Hello, sports connoisseurs. We're ready to roll. We're gonna be missed. We're missing our boy John. He's on a little vacay, having some family time. We'll catch up with him next week.
That, ironically enough, he's actually in Florida. We could have done a live show, all three of us, for the first time. He was too busy doing other things. What is there to do in Gainesville anyway? That's where he's at.
Probably get his van washed.
Airboat?
Maybe an airboat show. Jump on an actual airboat. Do some swamp stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
There's not a lot of exciting things in that little city of theirs.
No.
Maybe go alligator tooth hunting.
We had an opportunity to play some golf last week. The three of us and our buddy Jay was with us.
Shout out.
Me and Bern Nasty both had a chance to win the scramble that we were playing on the last hole. And Mr. Bijon, he just pulled an okie doke. He basically just pulled the rug out from under us and didn't give us a chance to win.
He played the family card. Played the family card. And is there an asterisk? For sure. That was a great day. The weather was perfect. Got to enjoy some guy time, some pro time, and hit the links. I thought we all played pretty well. It would have been nicer if you would have given us a shot because you would have lost.
The one thing that I'll say is that the other time that I played golf with you, Bern, your putting was on fire that day. I would say that your putting took a little notch down on last week's round. Nothing bad.
Let's give some credit where credit due. I did drain a 35-foot birdie putt to help out our boy Josh in the win. And that's the first time playing that course. A new course, try to get used to it. A little slower greens. My Scotty Cameron prefers a little bit more speed on the greens. Little true breaks. Don't worry. The next time we play, I'll be back in my original form.
Mayfair, for any of you guys out there that are from the Central Florida area, Mayfair Country Club. It's a fun course because you can't really lose your ball off the tee for the most part.
For the most part, I found a way to lose 4. Open course. It was fun. That's a nice setup.
I feel like if you were going to shoot one of your lowest rounds, you could do it there. If you were dialed in.
If you're dialed in, I think that's where you shoot your low scores. That's your PR right there.
You can't be doing it on those tight and narrow courses like DeBerry. That's not. Here we go. Let's talk about some March Madness because obviously we have a bracket update. Here's the thing, okay? So there's a couple brackets that we are still unsure about. So if you're listening to the show, we're wondering who GBO is, and also herpes doesn't define me, okay?
Power to that person. Definitely does not define you. We'd like to define you as somebody that we know and that we can reward if you do end up winning this wonderful bracket.
And they have Purdue winning it all, and they're the highest ranked Purdue pick bracket. We need to know who they are. Though, unfortunately, ESPN changed the format this year. I can't actually see who claimed what bracket. It doesn't tell me any information. It's going to be interesting because obviously all stars are aligned right now for a UConn Purdue final on Monday.
I think that's the dream matchup too, right? If that's how it ends up, I think that you couldn't have asked for a better championship game. I think those are two of the powerhouses that they've been.
That NC State plays Purdue. Purdue's 9.5-point favorite in that matchup. I watched a lot of the Purdue game in the Elite Eight, and they hung in there with them. It's just they could not stop Edey down low, man.
No, you can't. That guy's a beast. If there's one guy that can, it might be that NC State center. That's a big boy. Beast.
That is true. I haven't really seen a lot of NC State. I don't really know because what I've seen from him on the highlights, he seems like he's oddly enough a little bit more of a finesse shooter,
Which is bizarre. Actually, you wouldn't have expected. He's got skill, and he's definitely a finesse guy. Man, and we haven't seen a lot of NC State because we weren't really expecting this kind of run.
No.
Hell, they were a 10 seed in the ACC tournament. So just to see what they've done has been absolutely impressive. Like, I'm not going to count them out. That's for sure.
No, I've been counting them out the whole entire tournament.
Every week, every game, I'm like, this is where the run ends. It's still going.
obviously Vegas doesn't really think that these are going to be good
No.
matchups because they got Purdue. They think is going to be the better game out of the two. Actually, oddly
Yeah.
enough,
What do they have UConn at? Double digits? 11, 12?
yeah, 11.5. His name is DJ Burns, by the way.
I
It's the
should
same
know
guy.
this stuff. I
Oh
apologize,
yeah,
DJ.
Burnastic. He weighs in at 275 pounds.
It's a tractor trailer, man. That's a beast.
Try boxing him out.
I don't wanna meet him in the paint. That's for sure.
That is an appealing matchup to have Burns against Edie, actually.
I think he could upset and just annoy Evie and then, like, get him up off his rim.
Let's see how tall Burns is because the thing with Edie is he's
He
balanced
didn't
when
he
they
didn't even
feed
need
him
a
in the
he didn't even need
post.
the ladder. Didn't even need a ladder to cut the nets down.
You can't even foul him because he's a good free throw shooter. I don't really know what it's almost like very old school. Oh, DJ Burns is only 6'9", bro.
There's not a lot of people that could come close to Evie. Let's be honest, 7'4", that's a that's a tough matchup for anybody. I think 9.5, like, it could go two ways. It could either be an absolute blowout or that could be a really tight game, and NC State, they keep it close in those last 5, 6 minutes. I think they got a chance.
You
But
thinking
I'm not
are you
picking them.
thinking
No.
NC State to, cover, or you think Purdue will cover that?
I would lean towards, an NC State cover
Okay,
if I was going to
interesting.
bet today.
Okay.
I think I would take NC State to cover that one.
Okay, and then in the UConn Bama, that's the second matchup in the Final Four?
Look, UConn's run has just been beyond impressive. 25 plus points winning margin. Nobody's come close. Nobody's made it a game. Obviously, yes, Illinois was tied up 23 all, and we saw how that ended with a 30-0 run. It's hard. I just can't count. Alabama can shoot lights out, right? They can
Yeah.
score in bunches. One of the hottest, yeah, offensively, they're one of the better teams. Yes, they could probably put up some points. UConn is just the most complete team in the bracket in the tournament the whole time. And I feel like UConn continues their streak and wins by 20 plus. Come on.
I don't know if they're gonna win by 20 plus. This is a 1 versus 4 matchup here. Look at the irony there, right? This is
They play,
1 versus 4,
yeah,
and then NC State is an 11 seed, and they're getting more credit from Vegas.
because UConn played the 3 seed in Illinois and obviously did what they did. So I think that's what they're just playing it off of, is the fact that, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter who UConn plays, they've absolutely demolished.
I would have liked to have seen Iowa State in that game. Illinois, you gotta give them credit, they got the job done. I thought Iowa
Mhm.
State was actually the better
Probably the
team
better team.
out of that. Knows. I think that everything is pointing to UConn Purdue for Monday night. Now,
Yes.
the spread on that game,
What would
I
be
mean, what do you think? UConn minus
I
5?
was gonna say 5 to 8, somewhere in that range. I have to, right? Like, well, I
Oh,
guess,
I
yeah,
don't
let's
know.
just, I think it'll depend on what they do. Obviously, if UConn comes out and blows out Alabama, I don't know how they're not a 5 plus margin.
Okay, let's try to play a little bit of prediction here, okay?
Okay. Like,
UConn Purdue Monday night, that's gonna be the national championship. Let's say UConn is favored by 6. Are you taking them on that?
I'm probably taking UConn. Single digits. Give me those Huskies. Give it to
Okay, you don't think Purdue has a chance to beat them?
I don't. I think that the only way any team beats UConn is if UConn literally beats themselves and can't shoot and turns over the ball. I just don't has some foul trouble. I just don't see a team being able to put up a full 40 minutes with them. I just don't see it. UConn's too good, man. This is their year. Repeat.
They got this Donovan Clingan, he's 7'2", is the UConn center.
He's at least, if anybody can match up against Evie, it's probably him, right?
And just scheme-wise, you would think that UConn would be able to handle them, no problem. The
Yeah.
reason why Purdue is able to get to even where they are right now is just because of the fact that Edie's such a mismatch to
Yeah.
everybody.
He's throw the ball in the paint to him and let him do his thing. You can't guard that. You can't guard height like that.
I Man, we have to make the pick now, which is we don't get to see the Final Four
No.
games. We've yet to see UConn even really be tested. That's the thing is I would probably go UConn. I think I picked
100%.
them to win my bracket, so I might as well stay true to it. My buddy Big A, he's a huge Purdue fan.
Okay.
I would like to see Purdue win that game, actually. I think that would be the more exciting thing out of the 2 teams. You don't really see a lot of dynasties anymore in college basketball. The fact that UConn won it last year, and if they were able to go back to back, it puts a huge bullseye target on their backs for next
Oh,
year, and
yeah.
it makes it more exciting a little bit.
No, you don't see the dynasties nowadays just because of it, especially with the transfer portal and the NIL deals. Like, it's just tough these days to it's ever changing. Your rosters is turning over easily now, year over year. What UConn's done over the last 2 years is I mean, it reminds you of the UConn women's team back in the days.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
I
if you
mean,
think about it, those games right now, what UConn's doing on the men's side is what the women's side does on consistently. If you're the number 1 seed and you're going against the number 5, you're gonna win by 20 plus points. There's not a lot of as many close games on the women's side as there is men's. And the men's over here, UConn, the Huskies are absolutely destroying.
it's pretty impressive. Obviously, they've had some really good men's teams in the past too.
Oh,
Like they've had their fair share of runs. They
and
had such
please.
a They had some they had a huge lull there. Actually, one of the games that they lost was to Creighton. They lost by 20 to Creighton earlier this year.
I had Creighton in the Final Four. There's that.
They also lost to Kansas and they lost to Seton Hall. Those were their 3 losses. They only have 3
Yeah.
losses.
And really the only
So,
one that is like a surprise, I guess, if you're gonna call it a surprise, would be Seton Hall, right? Kansas was a solid team all year, dealt with some injuries late, and Creighton, again, number 2 seed,
Creighton beat them
again,
by
3 losses.
20.
I know, that's crazy.
It can be done,
It
Purdue.
can be done.
Ben.
Hey, look,
Well, actually, we should say
it can
Alabama
be done to
because
Alabama.
'cause
And Alabama's doing something that not many teams do. I believe they're the first college to be in the college football playoffs
oh,
and the Final Four, which is
oh,
kinda
oh,
I know, not exactly what
oh.
I like to talk about. I hope the
Let's
same results.
let's not bring at least their basketball team earned it.
Let's
It's a they weren't
Ooh,
gifted the Final Four opportunity
our
here.
our Tide followers are gonna love that one.
I don't think we have any.
Definitely not anymore, right?
We'll see. The one the to put a ribbon on this here, that the one matchup that I don't think anybody wants to see is NC State Alabama. That would be terrible on my
That I would say that yes, that would and probably not NC State UConn.
I don't know. You're
I
probably right about that. Yeah.
what's the spread on that game? If
Minus
Purdue's 9.5, it's gonna be minus 19.
Imagine if NC State beat them though. That would be
It'd
insane.
be that coach is gonna
So
earn that
I
those
don't know, man.
graduate
I don't know.
associates.
There's a little bit of juice here for the Final Four that we'll have to see how the games play out to see
Well,
how
so
it
your
all
prediction
unfolds.
is UConn, Purdue, UConn winning, correct?
It's a very boring prediction. I
I
understand.
know. I'd like to change it up. I just don't see how you can. I'm gonna go with the favorites, put the 2 ones in the, final, and let the Huskies
It's the
cut down the
better
nets.
matchup. It's the better matchup. I think America needs the better matchup in that one.
Nope.
And you might see some gamblers actually going on Purdue on that one just to
I
oh,
can see that. I think you'll have some money slide that way
mhm.
for sure.
They're gonna be riding the Edie train.
You gotta ride the ED train.
There's one person that is probably not going to be in attendance on Monday night's national championship, and that is going to be Puff Daddy Diddy, okay?
Where he'll be.
As of right now, I'm assuming he's hiding. Let me just read to you a little bit of some of the accusations that are coming at him right now, okay? So if you haven't been paying attention or you just heard through the grapevine that Diddy was in trouble, it is definitely true. He's being accused of rape, trafficking, murder, possession, drugs. There's just all kinds of things. The feds they raided a couple of his properties last week.
God.
Um, I don't know how he gets out of this. The one thing that I'll say is that he did have one person come out with a couple civil that he's being accused with with civil lawsuits, okay? The thing is that they can use some of that to go reopen some cases, right? Especially when it comes to the fact that he's being accused of trafficking. But now the feds are involved and it's looking like another Epstein saga.
It's definitely not looking good. It just, it's horrible, the allegations, and if it ends up being true, it's just wow. It's just hard to believe, it's the guy that we grew up on, right?
Oh, for sure.
To see all these allegations and the amount of them is just insane to me. And then you throw in the additional civil lawsuits, which is it's gonna rack up. Like that's gonna continue to increase. I don't see how he gets out of this. It seems like it's stacked against him, and it's definitely looking like trending towards another Epstein. It's, ugh, it's
If
tough.
this stuff is true, man, that's it's such a shame because growing up, I love listening to his music.
Yeah,
Obviously, he got really popular once Biggie died. I never would have thought that you don't really know what these guys that are in that kind of environment and world what they're actually doing in their free time. It's just they're insanely rich and they
yeah. We just
have
know him as a celebrity, right? Like we,
they're rappers though. I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
is a little bit of a different situation because it's like you're like in a little bit of a different world as opposed to a rock star. You can probably get yourself into a little bit of trouble going into that world a little bit. I don't really know why you need to be messing around with this trafficking bullcrap. Obviously, he has issues, right?
There's some mental breakdown there. That's for sure. I just don't know.
It
It's hard to wrap your head around it, right?
it is because you think to yourself like, why would you do stuff like that? You have the world, you have everything that you would want.
Anything and everything.
It's
It
like you
wanted a
have
little
these
more.
beautiful mansions, and then they just to get sucked in. It's a really good lesson for us to look at it because a lot of times we get sucked into the idea that if you had all this money that your life would be great. This is just another example how that is totally not true.
It's it's inaccurate.
Like you can have some really serious problems and it's actually a little bit ironic because they said "Mo money, mo problems" was one of the songs, right?
That is true. One of the most
Um,
popular songs.
it was Diddy
It
on
started
that, or
where it's Evil Head.
was that
That
Diddy?
was Biggie. I don't know if I don't I mean, Diddy might have thrown it into a song. That was definitely
Ooh.
the Biggie called this one out, he knew.
I'll be paying attention because I actually was not paying attention to it whatsoever. Then one of my buddies from softball was asking me about it, and I was like, "I don't know what the heck is happening with Diddy. I don't pay attention to the news." He was telling me a little bit about it, and I was like, I think I gotta look into
You're
this
like,
one."
I might need to take a look."
We'll be paying attention to that one. One thing that we found out from hanging out with Bijon this past weekend is that he only eats from the hours of 2 to 6 per day. Like, he has a 4-hour window where he eats.
I mean, I've never the dedication to this intermittent fasting that he has taken, I think it's a little bizarre. A 4-hour window to eat whatever and as much as he can in that time frame. I
Well,
just love the fact that one of his favorite snacks is a seaweed cracker. Like, I don't like, I still not even sure what that is.
I've
Like, is
never
it a
had
cracker
one.
with seaweed on top of it, or is it a cracker made of seaweed?
It
And then
seems
why
to
would you eat
me
that?
and it also seems like it would be expensive.
Bijon is also known as bougie. It makes sense.
Yes.
It adds up. I wish he was on because I to defend himself and explain this to it because it's just like, what do you like? I'm intrigued. What do you put on it? Do you just eat seaweed crackers, or do you like put soy sauce on it? Do you top it with anything?
I think he just
It's
ate I think
bizarre.
the way that he was
That's
describing it was that I think that's his breakfast is seaweed crackers at 2 p.m.
at
every day.
2 p.m.
Like, how unique of a person do you have to be for that to be like your like an actual fact about your life? Yes, at 2 o'clock I have seaweed crackers every day, and I only eat for 4 hours a day.
Breakfast is at 2, lunch is at 3:30 and 5:30. Like that's a lot of meals to pack into 4 hours. I wouldn't be able to. I want to know his total caloric intake.
We
Now
need him to
I'm still
track it.
I've got too many questions, John. If you're
Yeah.
listening to this, fill us in for next week. Be ready.
Like, we need an actual update. Like, we need to know how many calories you eat within 4 hours because it's mind-boggling that you could let's say it's 2,000 calories or 3,000 calories. Like, in 4 hours? That's insane.
I imagine you gotta eat at least between 1,500 and 2,000 calories. That's at minimum. And even that's 2 meals, like, or really stacking up 2 meals, and to do that within 4 hours is just I don't know how you train your stomach to be ready for that.
Do you think he has a six-pack?
No. He's got the dad bod, which is fine. I guess maybe that's what this fasting's doing, it's helping.
We gotta get him with his shirt off so that we can see what he looks like.
And we get his wife to send us maybe a beach day pic that we have in reserves.
That'd be fantastic, and then we'll use it as our cover photo for our reel on Instagram.
Or have it for our first Sports Caviar calendar.
Yes, and it'll get the most views out of all of them, by
That's
far.
right.
Moving over to baseball here real quick, that was opening day, opening series, opening weekend last week. There was a couple things that happened right there. Obviously, I'm on cloud 9. I think you're happy yourself.
I think we're
Um,
both in a really good position right now. I would
uh,
say for you, man, it's definitely yours was probably a little more impressive than mine.
a
I'll
sweep
take
is
it.
a sweep, right? The Tigers, you guys swept
The
the
White
White
Sox.
Sox, and then you play Oakland now.
Our schedule, to start the season does align pretty well for us.
Cupcake. That doesn't get any better than the White Sox and A's. Let's get a little
Yeah,
bit of a
I mean,
score update here. What's the Tigers doing? Although the White Sox are beating the
Tigers
Braves
got
as we speak, by the way.
are they? 2-1. Tigers actually got postponed up there in New York.
But you
So I
guys are
imagine
4-0,
4-0.
and you're playing against the 0-4 Mets.
It's you would not see that, right? That's a surprise. The Mets have, I think, the highest old money,
Payroll?
right?
Oh,
Payroll.
they're dishing it out, that's for sure. Oh, you guys have the A's
'Cause
this
we
weekend. Okay. I think that one thing that we're seeing here out of the gates is the teams that started out hot are maintaining their hotness in the second series as well.
the
Yeah,
Yankees, you couldn't ask for a better start
a 4-game sweep.
against Houston, who is definitely the team to beat in the AL West.
Wow.
I could have seen a 2-2 split. I could have seen a 3-1 maybe with you guys. I was probably expecting more of a you guys come out of that 1-3, to be honest. It's been impressive. And hell, you guys gotta be pretty damn excited about Soto and his hot start. He's worth every bit of prospect that you had to give up to get that guy.
Oh, for sure.
What, 5
Against
something, over
Houston, he's
500?
batting 529. Here's the thing that what we're the thing that I love it for the Yankees perspective is that if we can do this here, where we start out the first month of the season in this streak, okay?
Yeah.
If we can do that, then that actually buys some time for Garrett Cole.
You
You
don't need
know?
Cole right now. That's the other impressive thing is that you guys are doing this without him.
Oh, it's just huge because
Yeah.
obviously, if we're struggling and we're battling it out and we're barely 500, he's going to be more apt to try to rush his rehab to come back and try to save the season. If we're rolling, then hey, no, buddy, take your
Yeah, take your
time.
time. Make sure
Take
you're
your
100%.
time.
Yeah.
It was the best. And then another thing too is Judge only batted 125 in that series.
Where's
Um,
he? Where you guys have him right now?
That's the thing is that he was always our number 2 hitter, and they put Soto there, and then now they got, Judge batting 3rd.
And you would think you would that's pretty good to follow him. You probably get better pitches.
I would think well, I think it helps Soto because Soto's gonna get the pitches, and then
They would rather pitch to Judge.
I don't
Soto.
know. I mean, you're gonna have to pick your poison out of
Yeah,
those
pick your
with those
poison.
2 guys. I don't know. I was wondering if it was gonna affect Judge in any way because you know how baseball is such a mental thing, and if you're used to batting 2nd every single game, and then out of nowhere now this new season, you're batting 3rd, it's I don't know, it seems weird, like, it seems that you would think to yourself, like, it shouldn't matter where you bat, like, you should just
Yeah.
be able to hit.
I guess I just feel like dropping from 2 to 3, I would think that it wouldn't matter if like if
Mhm.
he dropped from 2 to 7,
That
kind of
definitely
you
matters.
know, block there on the motion to speak. Yeah.
If you get dropped because of performance, that's a whole whole 'nother thing.
True.
Like,
It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Obviously, you're so used to it, and I don't know. I that was never my sport. Was never the best at it. I didn't have to deal with that.
Let's see here. Milwaukee swept the Mets, the Dodgers.
Dodgers look
One
good.
one good thing for them is Yamamoto was able to get through 5 innings, no runs. That's probably something they're really happy to see. And Mookie Betts is leading the majors with 4 home runs right now out of the gates.
He's off to a really good start. And the Dodgers are gonna be obviously health as long as health holds up, they're gonna be tough to they're gonna be a tough out. Team is
Ran
stacked.
Randomly, the Pirates also started out 4-0. They swept the Marlins, led by Key Brian Hayes. He started out real hot. And then Chris Bryant is like 0 for his first 15 with Colorado this season. I think he'll probably end up taking a couple of days off here if I was the skip over there for that one.
And the Angels, Ron Washington, 2 games in, already held a team meeting.
What? Did he really?
Mhm. Wasn't liking what he was seeing. It was 3
Oh.
games in. I think they were 1 and 2. I think the 2 losses were, like, by 19 runs or 21 runs.
Oh.
But, maybe you should have stayed in Atlanta, Mr. Washington. Grass ain't greener as a manager.
He's up there in age though, man. He probably
Yeah.
is just gonna
Well, he
take
took
whatever he can
his
get.
contract, his one last big contract.
Well, let's
Braves look
see
good
here.
against you
Braves
know,
did look good against Philly.
they gave away that 3rd game.
Obviously, we're talking about just opening series here as
Yeah.
it matters. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it does matter because it the way that you look at the baseball season, it's definitely in quadrants, segments,
Mhm.
quarters, however you want to look at it. The first couple months of the season, I think, are massive because let's say for Atlanta, for example, they're not going to want to pitch Strider the entire season. They're going to want to somehow
Need some rest.
give him a little bit of a break.
And you wanna get off to a fast start just because you also don't wanna injuries are probably gonna happen.
Yep.
You wanna have a little bit of a buffer. But some of these teams that are in those holes right now are probably not too excited. A little worried.
No, plenty of time to get out of it. It's
Yeah.
just not the way you want to start. You can't be starting out 0-5 like the Marlins or
Mm.
whatever.
0-4 for the Mets, 0-4 for the Astros at the time. Those are type of runs you'd prefer not to have. I just
Yeah,
hope that you don't stack them one on top of another.
you almost are fine being 500 the first couple weeks just to like
I think you would, yeah. Honestly,
still in
if
it.
you can you get through a 500, you're probably feeling pretty good.
You're probably fine. I guess it depends on the division,
Also the division.
because if you're
Tigers,
talking
I'll
about
take
Atlanta
500.
and Dodgers, the Tigers, obviously, we'll have to see how you guys do against the Mets. I think you could
Well, we
definitely
got
sweep
1.
Oakland.
We
Yeah.
we won yesterday 5-0.
My my buddy Lean, he's a big Mets fan, and he posted a meme. There was a on his IG, it said there was a picture of the Mets, and it had "eliminated" from with an exclamation point, like, already from the eliminated from
Well,
the playoffs.
you know,
Like, I don't
I
know
did the
about
same thing. I
that,
called
but
our I called our buddy Matt Kraft. Shout out to you, Mr. Kraft. Big Mets fan. And
mm,
it's nice to see. We'll take a dub against them. It makes me feel better.
is it in New York, this series?
Tigers started the first 2 series are on the road.
Wow.
I feel pretty good with the fact that we're playing well on the road. We've been resilient, come back against the White Sox. Pitching looks pretty solid. Bullpen, feel good about that. We're gonna have some hiccups, that's for sure. We're still a relatively young team. No,
It's a
I'm
good
very
start.
happy.
Some notable weekend matchups for everybody out there. The Dodgers are at Wrigley Field this weekend. I'll be paying attention to that one. Arizona, it's still a little early to see if they're actually really good like last season or if it was just a fluke. They match up against Atlanta this weekend. We'll
Yeah, that's
find
a
out
good
pretty
one.
early. They're playing the Yankees now. The Yankees took the first game out of that series and then they got to play Atlanta. We're going to find out real early if Arizona's for real.
Very
Um,
soon.
Houston, Texas. That'll be another interesting matchup in the world of the MLB. Going over to a non-sports topic here, I was actually curious on your opinion of this. You go to the bathroom. This happened to me at work today, and I was a little annoyed by it. And I was like, let me see if this is just me or if other people think the same way as me on this one. In the men's room, there's 2 urinals and then there's 2 stalls. You walk in there, I'm at the urinal. there's one urinal right next to me available, and then there's also 2 stalls available. The guy decides to just pick the urinal right next to me to go to the bathroom, and I'm thinking to myself, like, "Why do you have to go right next to me? Like, why couldn't you have gone in the stall?" Would you have done the same thing?
With only 2 urinals available, yes, I would probably take the urinal. Only because what if somebody comes in behind us that needs to really has a purpose for those stalls? Is that the etiquette? Let's just say 2. I don't know. I don't know. Is it etiquette? Is it proper etiquette to utilize a stall for not its true intentions? Because then, no, I feel like if there's multiple urinals, then you need to stay. There has to be a gap. With only 2, you just have to. That's the proper protocol.
Okay,
I don't. I
so
think that's how I would handle it. I would probably go
okay.
straight to the urinal and not even think twice about it. If there was
I
3 urinals, that's where there's some proper etiquette that needs
Oh,
to be
then
in
you
place
you
because you can't. You don't. You
you
go to
leave
the
the
far
middle
one.
one open.
Middle
Okay.
one stays open.
Alright. You would at
That's
least do that for the guy.
I would do that. I mean,
So,
I don't know. I would say that I would probably go use the urinal. That'd be my gut feeling on that one.
urinals are for number 1 and stalls are strictly for number 2 for Mr.
They
Nasty.
are strictly for number 2 unless there's no urinals open. Like, obviously,
Okay.
like, you go to a sporting event, like, it's first come, first like, it's just
Right.
what's available. If you're in line and the somebody comes out of the stall, then you go.
Alright,
The
here's
urinals are
the thing.
taken.
The reality is that you're only gonna be using the stall for 40 seconds, okay? If somebody really d if 2 people came in and really had to go number 2,
Right.
and they were, like, dying, and you'd be done. You'd be almost done by the time the second person got in there. Your idea that you'd be occupying a space that somebody hypothetically might need, I think is moot, really.
I hear you. I understand
So
the argument. I also
so
don't like the
there's
fact that, like, you have to lift the seat up, like, or do you leave the seat down? And then that's rude. Then you have to,
yeah,
like, when you're touching somebody else's stuff.
so
I don't
it's
know. Like, I feel like
so it's more of a convenience
I
thing.
think there's a sanitary thing. I think there's a convenience thing. I think there's and then there's just being nice, just be kind.
I just feel like if because the bathroom at my job is not the widest or
Yeah.
largest
Is
bathroom,
there
it's tight.
is there a
So
block? Is there a
they
separator on
they do
these?
have a divider.
Oh, come
You're
on.
fine there. The urinals are pretty close together. Like, when they come next
Okay.
to you, you're like you can see them right here in your peripheral. They're, like, right there. It's, "Okay."
As long as I
Like,
can't look down and see, like, their shoes. If there's shoes, like, hugging the divider, then I have an issue. You gotta
I personally if I saw somebody using a urinal, I would just be like, it's too tight in here. I'm gonna do us both a favor. I'm gonna go into the stall.
you're gonna give them
You
some privacy, have some one-on-one yeah.
enjoy your 1 minute break in here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be crowding. I'm not gonna be cramping your style.
You're not gonna risk stage fright. What if he, starts to freak out? I got it. I get it. Noted. If I ever am in the bathroom and you happen to be there, I will make sure that I head to the stalls.
Get the heck out
That's
of there.
it's the farthest stall possible.
Give me my space is what I want.
You need space. I got it.
Maybe this has something to do with the fact that I work from home for 3 years because of the pandemic, and then now I'm back in the office, and I'm like, "Wow, there's people in here, like, what's going on?"
I got you.
In FSU news, Ernie Sims returns to Tallahassee as a special advisor, an advisory role. What are
I
your
like it.
thoughts on that?
It's good to have him back. He was a stud for us. No, I mean, excited to get him into the coaching tree of Norvell, and maybe he'll learn a few things. Maybe he'll move on up and down the road. Maybe we see him as our linebackers coach.
Do you know what is he coming from?
That's why I didn't know
Okay.
if this is like his first gig or if he's where he's been the last few years.
We know that he was a baller. He knows how to play.
He definitely knows how to
Uh,
play.
Whether or not
He
he
can
knows how to
relate to the
coach.
players. That's the thing is, what's the coaching skills? It doesn't hurt for him coming in as some sort of control coach, right? See how he does.
How much do you think he's gonna get paid for this role?
He's probably 50, 60,000.
Oh, that's
Like
it?
it can't be six figures for like
I
a
don't
you think so?
I don't know, man. Like, what the heck are you gonna do with 50 grand these days?
He
Like,
doesn't need it though, maybe. That's the thing is maybe I just wanna learn and see what we can do.
how much is that per hour?
A defensive analyst, he's probably close to 100,000,
They
but I
they
mean,
don't
it's
have
like
to disclose that?
I'm sure I'm sure it's public knowledge, I think. He was on the staff at South Florida from 2020 to 22. He was linebackers coach for a little bit. No, he actually served as the Bulls defensive coordinator for the final
Oh,
3
okay.
games of the 22 season. He's definitely okay, so he's done some coaching. He most recently served as UCF's linebackers coach in 23. Okay. So
Oh,
he
okay.
probably okay, I take it back. Definitely not making 50, 60,000. Way off.
That's 20 bucks an hour. Like,
He's gotta be 120-ish probably then. You're a defensive analyst, you're really earning your stripes before getting promoted. He's 6 figures.
my question is, what the heck does a analyst advisor do?
I always wondered that. Is it to help with game plans, the schemes? I'm sure he just works within the individual rooms. I assume he's probably gonna be big on the linebacker side with his expertise and just probably like giving different perspectives. Whatever
Didn't
the
he
hell Coach Norvell wants him to do, he's probably doing. Hopefully
did
recruiting some linebackers.
helping out with that maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
We got O'Leary as well, right? Didn't O'Leary come back as an advisor?
He's an advisor in some fashion too.
Yeah, look at Norvell, man.
I love that our former players are seeing what Norvell's doing and wanting to be a part of it. It's nice. I
That's
love it.
fantastic. Whenever Jay Boo's done in the NFL, we'll see him in Tallahassee, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
That'd be
I hope
amazing.
so. Wouldn't that be awesome?
There was actually a quote from Norvell. I don't have it on my phone. I didn't save it. It was something along the lines of he was saying that this is actually the fastest team that he's coached at
Really?
FSU.
Speed.
I was like, wow,
We got speed all
even
over the
more than
field
last
now.
season.
I think offensively we've definitely increased our speed more than it was last year, which is crazy to say. We've got speed at every position.
Did you see the picture of Hakeem Williams by any chance?
Dude's a stud.
He's jacked now.
He's built like the fact of the matter is he's 19 years old or or about to turn 19.
He had a red shirt. I don't know if he counted as a red shirt last year.
No, I think he played. I don't think he had a red shirt.
He had
I
more
think
than
he played in
4
more than 4
games.
games.
I don't really remember. I remember him in a couple games. I don't really remember him in like a overabundance fashion. Like I felt like
They have him as a sophomore.
okay, all right. It really wouldn't matter because he's probably the type of guy that is going to try to go pro.
Even if he did redshirt, he has a good year this year, plays well next year. So
For
it
sure.
doesn't matter. We don't need it.
I'd like to see that he put on some weight because it just goes to show you how serious he's taking it. I'm thinking he's going to be one of our top 2 starting receivers this year, don't you think?
I think that's what we wanted. He needs to be.
Yeah.
I think he will end up being. We'll see how Destin Hill does.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
the youngsters from last
Transferred.
year. Yeah, and then we got the transfer Malik Benson. I think he's can be something special.
Yeah.
He's got some speed too. He can take the top off of the
And we still
defense.
have
So
Ja'Kai Douglas somehow, right?
still got Jakai. We still got um Portier. Don't we still have? I mean,
Portier?
so
Yeah.
we've got
He's pretty good.
our receivers. We don't really have. Obviously, we don't have the Coleman type. We don't have the Johnny Wilson type
Mhm.
right now. The proven ones. We've got top to bottom. It's a pretty solid room.
Yeah.
And we just need a couple of those guys to break out. And I think that's the expectation. And Hakeem Williams is at the top of that list.
It's
Has
gonna
to
be
be.
all about DJU, man. It's all about
Yep.
DJU.
What kind of chemistry, who he's connecting with. We got some tight ends. I feel good about that room.
The
Running
Garnet and
backs,
Gold game should be coming up, right?
I said it's got to be.
I saw something where they're doing construction on the one side of Doak. They have temporary stands up. It looks like high school bleachers in one area.
I don't. It's gonna be a challenge. Like, are you making a game this year?
I'm trying to go to the Ireland game,
Oh, I was thinking of the
but
home game though, to see
but
kinda how that's going.
a Tally game, I would love to go to Tally for a game. I don't know if I'm spending all this money to go to Ireland, I might be like, "All right, I'm done."
I've done it. But if they bring out another undefeated run, maybe you'll find a way.
Oh, for sure. If you wanna twist my arm, maybe if you're like, "Hey, Hav, we're going up for the Florida game. You wanna come?" I'll be like, "Okay, let's go." Moving over to the NBA real quick, the Magic we have to apologize to our connoisseurs because we were sitting there ragging on the Magic in a hypothetical matchup against the Nuggets. And then Bijan brought it to our attention after we concluded that the 2 times that the Magic played the Nuggets, the Magic won this
They
season.
act they actually handled it. Hey, we apologize, I think we all knew that happened. I think it's if hypothetically we made that in the playoff side of things, I think we would pick Denver to win the series.
No, we would dominate. The Magic dominate the Nuggets. They own them.
I actually was at the Magic Memphis game on this past Saturday.
Oh, you went?
That was
This is a bad game.
it was a it was a horrible game to be. I mean, obviously, grit the Magic won. They won by 25, 30 points, whatever it was. It was an ugly game to watch. Like
Gross.
even the Magic were not crisp. They were not playing at an elite level. It was just the fact that the only reason they really did what they did is because it was against the Memphis Grizzlies who had nobody playing.
It's a G League team.
It was I don't think I only recognized 2 names.
Bane.
He didn't play.
Oh, Bane. They don't
So
even have
without
Bane.
Bane, without Morant, it was like Luke Kennard and Jaren Jackson, and that
They
was
had Kennard?
they did have Kennard, but he
Oh.
did nothing. He couldn't. He wasn't.
Oh.
He couldn't shoot. Jaren Jackson had a decent game. It was like watching a high school game.
I was gonna
But the
jump
Magic
all over
won
that
winning.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I was gonna jump all over that because the Magic had some nail biter losses last week against the Clippers. I forgot who else it was earlier in the week. I was like, they're gonna smoke Memphis. Then I go look at the line,
Yep.
-13, and I was like, "Oh, Vegas is all over this game. They know the Magic are gonna win."
Oh yeah.
Um,
I wish I would have. It's those type of spreads is just it's scary to bet. I'm watching. I'm like, this is gonna. I was trying to
Easy
figure out. I
cover.
was like, yeah, it was just ridiculous. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be like 50 points. But
Did you
then we started
guys
playing all of our backups, and it was just like, and then they got back into it, and then we put our players back in and pulled away a little more.
did you guys have good seats?
My buddies did. I was a late addition. I wasn't planning on going. Two of my buddies, Tom and Dunce, shout out to you guys. They had some really good seats. There were 4 seats. I guess it's like on the court. It's courtside. Like there's 3 rows of seats, and they're on the 3rd row, about 15 feet in from the basket.
Oh,
Really good seats.
weren't in the first row.
No, they weren't. They
That's
weren't.
not
Yeah.
impressive.
Then they got. That's why I said, "So you guys came and see. There's 2 rows in front of you, and there's that's not like it's stadium seating. It's
And,
no. They did get some VIP, I guess, event style stuff where you can go into the tunnels and it's free food and drinks. They were drinking some good bourbons and some tequilas, and I'm like, and I bought a nosebleed, not a nosebleed. I did lower bowl. It was like 45, $50. So
oh, okay.
I'm sitting by myself drinking a Modelo and a burnt hot dog, and these guys are living the high life. So they came and visited me, and they brought me a bourbon. I was like, "Thanks, guys," and they're like, "All right, we're gonna get going."
All right, we'll see you later. We gotta go back to our seats.
After the game,
That's funny. Did you guys end up going to Mathers after?
no, it was we had a relatively we started a little early, a little pre-party, and we head back to the house. And Sunday was obviously Easter, so everybody
Oh, yeah,
had
sure.
things going on.
Hopefully you
But yeah,
went
we prayed.
praise the Lord.
We went to church Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
did it Saturday because it's just Sunday's always busy with the different services. It's a little challenge,
That's true.
and you have to
Um,
reserve tickets or whatever. It's what the heck's going on here?
it
But
depends. Some of the churches you have to do that now. Anyways, back to the Magi. They got Charlotte, New Orleans, and Portland this week. They should be able to take 2 out of 3 there. Now, here's the thing. Miami, they're playing the Knicks, Philly, and Rockets, which is a good thing. Strength of schedule wise, it looks like the Magic have a little bit of an edge against the Heat. The reason why I bring it up is because the Heat are only 2 games.
That 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is all within 4 games.
It's up
It's
for
like
grabs.
we could go any direction, and it's scary. The Magic's schedule is not exactly a cakewalk. I think there's only one team left that's fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
If I remember, it's gonna be tough. We'll see what kind of team we are as a finisher.
I
I
mean,
still think I think
there's
we end up at 4. That's my
yeah,
prediction.
there's only 2, like, roughly 2 weeks, 2, 3 weeks left. Here's the thing, Miami is actually tied with Indiana for the 6 seeds. There's a chance that they squeak out of the play-in tournament and Indiana slides in there. They're and same thing with the Magic. They're actually too close for comfort for the play-in tournament even still.
It's scary. Hell, it just you gotta be pretty excited that we're actually in this right now with 2 weeks
I just hope
left.
they can I hope they can hold off this
Yeah,
run. Miami's
I'm
gonna make
fine
a
with.
run.
Are you fine with like them staying status quo and staying 5?
Oh, no, as long
Yeah,
as they stay out of the play-in tournament. Okay, now here's the thing.
yeah,
Let's talk about potential matchups here. Now, if the Magic's if the seeding stayed where it was right now, the Magic would actually play against the Knicks in the
the
first
Knicks,
round.
yeah.
What do you think about that?
I try to look at 'em like would I rather play the Knicks, Cleveland, Indiana, or
Pacers,
Miami? I just feel like I would probably take the Knicks at this point.
really? Mm,
I do, I don't know if I like the other
uh,
matchups. Maybe Cleveland, maybe Indiana. I know. I don't wanna touch Miami. I don't wanna see them.
I don't wanna play Miami, and obviously, I'm a Knicks guy. I would say from the Magic purposes, I would say their best matchup is against Cleveland, which would mean they potentially would have to slide to the 6th seed and play Cleveland if Cleveland stayed at the 3
Yeah.
seed. We don't
Or
know.
if the Knicks jump to 3 or the flop it.
Cleveland went to 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Obviously, ideally, you wanna have home court advantage. If you can get
You
to the
wanna get the
4th
4.
seed, then you get the home court. Because Mitchell's coming off of an injury. I think in Cleveland's average without Donovan Mitchell.
There's no it's like, they're all gonna be challenging. I think Cleveland or the Knicks would be my choices. I think
Pacers
if
the
we
Magic will
jump to
beat the
3,
Pacers.
you think
I do. They got Halliburton and they got Siakam. We have J.I. is a neutralizer, right?
but he doesn't play back-to-back games apparently because he didn't play Saturday.
Oh, they wouldn't want him to play against Memphis anyway. Why are you gonna waste him for
I
that?
just don't think he plays back-to-backs
Do
against
they
the
do
rest of
back-to-backs in the playoffs?
your home games. You
I
don't do
thought they had,
back-to-back. Is it every other one? I thought it was
I thought it was every other
it
day
is
they,
every other day.
had a little break in there.
You're probably right.
It's J.I. can handle Siakam. I think that then Halliburton's good. I don't think that we need to worry about him that much compared to the rest of our team. That's who
You're
I would like to
saying Cleveland, Indiana. Either one of
I would love to see the Pacers. That's who for the
yeah.
Magic. I would love to see them matched up against the Pacers. There's a possibility that it could be Magic Heat at the 4 and 5, and that would be a disaster.
That would not be an ideal situation for us.
We would have to go to one of those home games and really root them on.
Okay, I think more than that.
They need Sports Caviar to show up, show out.
Show
Show
up and
up.
show out.
Be paying very close attention. Hopefully, the Magic can hit their stride here coming down the final stretch. In the NFL, we got the draft coming up in a couple weeks. We did decide, I think, that was that the unanimous decision that Chicago shouldn't have traded for Caleb Williams, or did we have a mixed
Yeah,
bag on that?
I think we all just thought that just surrounding Justin Fields with more talent, that would have been the better choice rather
Yeah.
than trade him for a 6th-round pick and not tying everything to Caleb Williams.
Yep. And no Maserati Marv in that equation either.
Can you imagine Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Marvin Harrison Jr.? Like,
Unstoppable.
hey, here you go, Justin. See what you can do with these guys.
And then worst case scenario, you could always trade Fields a year later or something and go get somebody
Yeah.
else.
He's still under his rookie contract. You don't have to pay
Yeah.
him. I don't know. I just feel like if he does ball out, he's probably
Yeah.
worth the 40. I think that's maybe what they're thinking is that he's still not a proven commodity. Move on from him. Get Caleb Williams for 4 years at a rookie price. He's They did put some talent around and they showed up some their weaknesses on both sides. I don't know. I think I would have probably stuck with Justin.
That was a
That's why
consensus.
we're on this show
Yeah.
and they're the GMs and the big
Well, we'll
dog.
have to see. We might be right. We'll find
See?
out in a year or two, especially if Maserati Mar's rookie of the year.
I think he's got a pretty damn good chance.
And then not in college, in the world of golf, Steve Yeager bombs duels Finau and Scotty. I was actually surprised that Scotty cared to win this one.
I was surprised
The
Scotty was in the tournament.
it
You
was,
couldn't name like the top. It was 8 out of the top 10. It's
I
like
know
who are
it
these
was
people?
some.
But yeah,
I
good for
mean,
Jagerbomb, man. Good for Jagerbomb. I
Yeager
mean, he's up
bombs.
on the final round Sunday.
He wins the Texas Children's Houston Open. They have one more tournament before the granddaddy of them all, the Valero this weekend, and then you have the huge Masters on April
Can't
11th.
wait for that.
That's gonna be. I just love the Masters. Oh goodness
That guy
gracious!
right there.
Yeah. Would you be upset if you actually won the lottery for tickets and it was just a practice round?
No, I wouldn't. I
No.
mean, I just want to go. I want to go bad. Obviously, ideally, of course, you want to be like it doesn't matter what round you want to be there. I've been told that the practice rounds are just as fun. It's still exciting. You get to be up front with the players. The course is just which on TV is amazing looking, and it's
Majestic.
1,000 times better.
Yeah,
I'd love to I'd love to go.
I don't know. That seems to me like going to see a preseason baseball game. I think it's actually stupid that is part of the lottery system is the stupid practice rounds. Like, if I'm gonna win a lottery, at least let me win a freaking one of the 4 rounds. Like,
Yeah.
why am I winning an opportunity to go to a practice round?
It should be, hey, you get 1, 2, 3, or 4, and then if you'd like to, in addition, you pay a little extra, you could have
A practice round.
maybe
Like,
that's a bonus offer.
or just sell the practice rounds as
That's
normal, like
normal. No reason to have
normal
a lottery
tickets.
for practice rounds.
That's my thing, is that I think that it would be it's almost like if you, like, won the jackpot on the Florida lottery, and it was, like, $1,000,
It was
and
like,
you're
man,
like
800 people also won with you.
that's what it seems like to me. If
No,
I'm gonna
I get
hit
that.
if I'm gonna hit a lottery, I wanna hit something big here. I mean,
I
some
guess I'm
peop
just, like, at a point where I don't think that it's in the cards for me. It's just doesn't seem like my bucket list Masters tournament's gonna happen. If I can win a damn lottery and get to the practice round, at least I went to the Masters. I can say I was there.
don't you think that there's a way to get in there, like, with money?
Oh, there's money, there's a way. No
Yeah.
money, no problems.
That is true. Do you think that if we were millionaires, we could find our way into the
You'd find a
Masters?
way because you'd find a contact, a network. You network it your way into there very easily. Because you'd find a sponsor, you'd find somebody that sponsors one of the players, and you'd find a way. We could make that happen.
Yeah.
If we get there, guys, if there's any sports connoisseur that want to help us out here,
Come on, help us get to
caviar
the
connoisseurs, let's go,
yeah.
baby.
Let's get Sports Caviar to Augusta. It's what the whole world needs.
It's what
Really.
every one of our subscribers would like.
We're not too far away from that, Mr. Nasty.
I can't wait.
In
Excited,
the
man.
meantime, you can watch the Valero.
I probably will not watch the Valero.
Neither will I.
Yes, I think we're good.
Let's do it for week 28. We'll talk to you
Love it.
guys next week.